The brain's protection racket. Why analysis feels like healing. Let's name the trap. Intellectualizing pain lets you feel competent while staying far from the thing. That actually changes you. Embodied discomfort in relationship. Thinking keeps threat at arm's length. It gives prediction and control, which your brain loves when it's anxious. But control is not connection, and prediction isn't integration. Here's why it feels so good. Your brain is a prediction machine. It constantly tries to minimize surprise. Prediction error minimization. When you spin a neat story about your childhood or your attachment style, your brain says, "Ah, I know why that happened." Prediction error drops. You feel safer. It feels like progress, but nothing changed. Uncertainty just decreased. Now add threat appraisal. Your nervous system scans for danger and assigns meaning. Safe, risky, or catastrophic. Embodied work. Asking for a boundary, saying no, tolerating someone's disappointment. Pings as risky, maybe even catastrophic if your history says rejection equals abandonment. Talking about doing it, though, that feels safe. So the system nudges you toward more words and away from action. You get the comfort of competence with none of the stakes. There's also a lighter form of dissociation, intellectualization, sometimes paired with mild depersonalization. You're not blacking out, you're hovering above your body, narrating feelings instead of feeling them. That can help in crisis. As a lifestyle, it blocks integration. The shadow doesn't integrate at the altitude of analysis. It integrates in tolerable doses of sensation with another person present. The thing most people miss. Insights deliver dopamine. That, aha, rush is a reward hit. You journal, connect two memories, feel brilliant, and your brain tags analysis as the winning move. Meanwhile, behavior change is slow and rarely praised. That asymmetry wires you to chase insight spikes instead of reps. Insight without enactment is like buying gym clothes and calling it fitness. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Felt sense tolerance beats narrative mastery. Felt sense tolerance is your capacity to stay with a body sensation. Tight throat, hot cheeks, buzzing chest, without fixing it, fleeing it, or flooding. When you can ride 30 to 90 seconds of that wave, while staying connected to someone supportive, co-regulation, you install new predictions in your nervous system. This feeling won't kill me. I can move through it and choose. That's the software update you need. Let me show you exactly how this plays out. Say you're journaling about betrayal. You craft the perfect origin story. You label your pattern, outline your triggers, even write affirmations. You feel deeply on it. But when your partner cancels plans, you still spiral. Why? You never trained your system to tolerate the microbursts of grief that cancellation evokes. You built a map and never walked the terrain. Try this instead, co-regulated exposure. When a small disappointment hits, name one body sensation out loud to a safe person. There's a pressure in my chest. Set a 90-second timer. Breathe low and wide, eyes soft, and don't manage the other person. Just stay. When the timer ends, ask for a simple resource. Can you put a hand on my shoulder? Then make one grounded move. I'm bummed. Let's reschedule Thursday. You trained capacity, not story. Now here's where most people mess up. They confuse processing time with progress. They believe the more they talk it through, the more healed they are. But talking without new behavior cements the very loop that keeps them stuck. You build a smarter ego that can explain your wounds from every angle while still avoiding the moment your body wobbles. The ego loves that. It gets to be expert and safe. Common mistakes to avoid. Treating analysis like exposure. It isn't. Chasing catharsis highs. Dopamine bursts aren't durable change. Waiting to feel ready. Readiness follows a few tolerable reps. A quick microstory. A client kept dissecting her fear of confrontation. She could map every family dynamic by decade. We shifted to a 72-hour practice. One tiny direct ask per day, with a 60 to 90-second discomfort window and texted accountability. Within a week, her anxiety dropped during asks. Not because the stories changed, but because her body learned it could survive them. The reason this works is simple. Prediction errors update through lived data. Each time you ride a wave and act appropriately, your system recalibrates. Boundary is not equal to abandonment. Over time, analysis becomes a tool, not a hiding place. You still think, but in service of the next rep. Okay, so now you can see how the ego gets bigger wearing a healer costume. Analysis provides safety, status, and certainty without stakes. That's why healing can inflate self-focus. Next, we'll map the 4 ego inflation loops that turn self-work into narcissism, and the quick win that snaps you out of it. How healing becomes narcissism. The 4 ego inflation loops. Let's connect the dots. When analysis feels safer than action, your ego learns a neat trick. Use healing to justify staying. Centered on yourself. Left unchecked, that self-focus warps empathy, accountability, and reality testing. Here are the 4 loops that quietly turn self-work into narcissism, and how to break each one. Loop 1. Exceptionalism. The script sounds like, my shadow is deeper, the rules don't apply to me. You start believing your pain is uniquely complex, so ordinary expectations. Show up on time, follow through, apologize without a speech, feel beneath you. Consequence, isolation. People stop giving honest feedback because you framed yourself as too special to be questioned. Why it happens? Insight highs can foster superiority. Fix, structural humility. Agree to concrete standards with someone affected. Deadlines, meeting times, response windows, and let them measure you. When your inner voice argues, but my process, recommit to the shared rule, not your exception. Loop 2, moral license. You own a flaw and then feel entitled to repeat it. I know I can be blunt, I'm working on it. Becomes a permission slip for more bluntness. Confession masquerades as change. The thing most people miss. Awareness is morally neutral. Repairing impact is moral. Switch the verb. Replace own with own and repair. That means naming the behavior, acknowledging the effect, and doing behavioral restitution. If you were late, you don't perform a monologue about childhood chaos. You show up early for the next 3 meetings and check whether it restored trust. Why this works? It shifts the reward from narrative to evidence. You get credit for receipts, not revelations. Loop 3, identity fusion. You're wounded/healer. Identity becomes the brand you defend, identity protective cognition. Any challenge to your behavior feels like an attack on your essence. You curate relationships that echo your self-story and mute ones that ask for change. Cost, reality distortion. You stop updating based on outcomes. Antidote, identity flexibility on purpose. Write your roles on sticky notes, partner, teammate, friend, client, creator, and ask, what do they need from me this week? Then pick one boring, measurable behavior per role. This reorients you from self-protection to service. Loop 4, weaponized vulnerability. Oversharing becomes a way to control closeness, pseudo-intimacy that avoids mutuality and change. You disclose early and intensely to buy safety, sympathy, or leverage. If someone sets a boundary, you escalate the share. It looks intimate, but it avoids mutuality. Disclosures aren't matched with curiosity about the other person's experience or with changes in behavior. The fix is twofold. First, time-box disclosures. Share one concrete feeling and one request, then pause for the other person's response. Second, pair every disclosure with a pattern shift. I get clingy when you travel. I'm asking for a daily check-in. I'll also schedule 2 plans with friends, so I'm not on your phone all night. Vulnerability stops being a tool for control and becomes a bridge for mutual regulation. Now here's where most people mess up. They try to think their way out of these loops. But these are behavioral feedback systems, not philosophical problems. You close loops with actions that update how others experience you. Quick win across all 4. Own and repair. Build a tiny ritual. When you notice a pattern, say to the person affected, I did X. I imagine the impact is Y. Is that accurate? Listen. Then ask, what would make it right? Do that within 48 hours. Log it, date, behavior, impact, restitution. 3 receipts beat 30 insights. A microcheck for each loop. Exceptionalism. Did you agree to a rule someone else can see? Moral license. Did you deliver restitution, not explanation? Identity fusion. Did you pick a behavior that serves a role other than healer? Weaponized vulnerability. Did your share include a request and a matching behavior shift? A quick story. A coach prided herself on radical honesty. Translation. She was harsh. After owning her bluntness for months, clients still felt bruised. We added a repair-first protocol. Any feedback had to include one observed strength, one specific behavior, and an offer to help implement the change. Within 2 weeks, client churn dropped. Her truth finally did less harm because it arrived with scaffolding and skin in the game. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Narcissism isn't self-love, it's self-preoccupation. Healing becomes narcissism when insight replaces responsibility. Integration becomes visible the moment another human's burden gets lighter because you changed. Spotting the slide early is everything. In the next section, I'll give you 3 clear signs your shadow work is hurting you, and the exact antidotes that pull you out fast. 3 signs your shadow work is hurting you, and what to do. Sign 1. You treat relationship feedback as invalid unless it's trauma-informed. Translation: unless someone mirrors your language and cites your favorite framework, you discard what they're saying. That's a subtle power move. You get to be the judge and the jury of whether a person is qualified to be impacted by you. The cost is obvious. You stop updating from reality. People withdraw honest signals, and your blind spots grow. Antidote: the reality check triad. Use 3 lenses before rejecting feedback. Lens 1. Content. What exactly did they observe in one sentence? Behavior first. Lens 2. Convergence. Have 2 or more people, across contexts, said something similar in the past year? Lens 3. Consequence. Does keeping this behavior cost outcomes I care about? If 2 of 3 light up, treat it as actionable regardless of vocabulary. Reflect back the behavior, check impact, and propose a small repair within 48 hours. Now here's where most people mess up. They argue about tone and lose the lesson. Tone may be off. Still log the pattern. Keep a signal, not style, note in your phone. Behavior quoted verbatim, date, source. Once a month, scan for repeats. Your nervous system learns to privilege data over defensiveness. Sign 2. You can explain your patterns, but can't change Tuesday. You deliver brilliant monologues about your avoidant parts, your inner child, your attachment history. And then Tuesday arrives and you ghost, snap, or overshare again. That's the analysis loop in action. Insight feels like change, so you delay the rep that would actually update the system. Antidote: the 72-hour micro-commitment. Pick one pattern, one behavior, one context. Make a measurable promise you can execute in the next 3 days. The formula is simple: who, what, when, and discomfort window. Example: by Thursday 5 p.m., I'll send Maria one clear email with 3 bullet points and a deadline. I'll tolerate 90 seconds of discomfort before editing. Put it somewhere public. Text a friend, tell your partner. Afterward, log the outcome in 3 lines. Did I do it? What sensation peaked? What happened next? Repeat 3 times a week for 2 weeks. Why this works? Repetition plus time pressure shrinks, healing, from a lifestyle brand to an action you can verify. Common mistake: stacking 5 commitments because you're motivated. Don't. That's perfectionism disguised as progress. One behavior in one relationship beats 5 vague intentions. We're retraining prediction, not curating identity. Sign 3. You chase catharsis highs and avoid boring reps. You love intense workshops, deep cries, ceremony, the breakthrough session. But you skip the mundane practices that build skill. The awkward boundary, the unglamorous apology, the weekly check-in. Your nervous system becomes a thrill seeker. It equates depth with intensity, not consistency. Result: great stories, same outcomes. Antidote: dull, measurable behaviors. Make a list called boring proof. These are behaviors someone else can recognize without you explaining. Examples: arrived 5 minutes early 3 times this week. Asked for what I wanted in 1 sentence, no backstory. Repaired within 48 hours. Give each a checkbox. Choose 3 to run every week for a month. Pair them with a discomfort scale from 1 to 10. If it feels like a 2, increase difficulty slightly. Raise the stakes, shorten the timeline, widen the audience. If it's a 9, titrate down. The move is to stay between a 4 and a 7. That's where capacity builds. Why this works: accountability shifts reward from narrative to evidence. Your brain stops chasing, I get it, and starts tagging, I did it, as the win. Over time, your identity reorganizes around receipts. Others can predict you in ways that feel safe. A micro-story to make this real. A student in my group was queen of confession. Every session, beautiful self-awareness, lots of tears, 0 change at home. We ran a 2-week experiment. No confessions, only repairs. She picked 2 relationships, tracked 1 behavior per person, and reported receipts, not feelings. 2 weeks later, her sister said, "You're easier to be around." That wasn't a spiritual compliment. It was evidence. Warmth returned because impact changed. Note the theme across all 3 signs. Your attention is stuck on you. Your language, your process, your catharsis. The antidotes pull you back into relationships with shared reality, small promises, and visible repairs. That's the corridor out of ego training and into integration. Now that you've got early warning signs and fixes, we'll build the core mechanics of real integration, so these shifts become automatic. Integration, not excavation, the 4-step practice. Wholeness isn't an essay, it's something people can feel when they're with you. Trade excavation for integration. Here's the core practice. Notice, normalize, negotiate new behavior. The 3NS plus 1B. It's sticky, so you can run it on a Tuesday when your stomach drops and your mouth goes dry. First step, notice. The thing most people miss is that shadow shows up first in the body, not in your narrative. Catch the earliest physical cue. Tight jaw, heat in the face, shallow breath, a sudden urge to retreat or attack. Label it in 6 words or less. Chest tight, urge to fix them. This is your tripwire. If you're already storytelling, you missed the first mile marker. Bring attention down and out, feet, breath, sounds in the room. You're orienting to now, so you can choose, not react. Second step, normalize. This isn't, I'm special. It's, I'm human. Say it plainly. Anyone with my history might feel this. You're diffusing shame without diluting responsibility. The reason this matters is your nervous system needs safety to update. When you normalize, you reduce the panic spike that drives old patterns. But don't overnormalize. A single sentence is enough. If you monologue, you're medicating with words. Third step, negotiate. This is where you convert raw charge into needs. Ask, what need is live here? Protection, clarity, closeness, rest, respect. Then translate the need into one clean request or boundary you could make. Keep it behavioral and specific. The shortcut nobody teaches. If the need is unclear, default to time or clarity. I need 5 minutes, or I need the ask in 1 sentence. Negotiation isn't with the other person first, it's with yourself. Can you tolerate a little discomfort to ask for something real? Fourth step, new behavior. This is the public part, where integration earns its stripes. Pick one action that honors both the need and the relationship. Keep it observable. If you can't schedule it, it isn't integration. Deliver the behavior in front of another person, so reality can push back and shape you. Shadow softens under friction. Without friction, it's all theory. Let me give you a clean example. Say envy pops up when a colleague lands a big client. Old move. Spiral into superiority or self-loathing. Then journal about scarcity. Integration move. Notice. Stomach knots, scrolling their page. Normalize. Envy happens. It's a signal. Negotiate. Need, growth and mentorship. New behavior. Name the resource gap and ask for guidance. Congrats on the win. I'm aiming for clients at that level. Would you be open to a 20-minute mentorship call next week? I'll bring 3 questions. Then you schedule it on the spot. You just turned a shadow spike into a skill-building rep. Anger? Same flow. Notice, heat in chest, jaw locked. Normalize. Anger is boundary energy. Negotiate. Need, respect for my time. New behavior. 1 sentence, no story. I won't be able to continue if meetings start late. Let's lock a 5-minute grace window and then begin without late arrivals. Then do it. The point isn't clever phrasing, it's repeatable behavior. Shame? Notice, collapse in the gut. Normalize. Shame visits when I risk. Negotiate. Need repair. New behavior. Name your impact and offer restitution. I missed the deadline. I imagine that stalled your work. Is that accurate? If so, I'll deliver by 3 p.m. today and add a buffer next time. You just moved from self-attack to accountable action. Common mistakes to watch. Skipping notice and going straight to speeches. If you can't feel it, you can't steer it. Over-normalizing into excuses. 1 sentence, then move. Negotiating in your head, but never asking out loud. Keeping new behavior private. Without witness, your ego grades itself on a curve. A quick micro-story. A manager kept owning her micromanaging in one-on-ones, then doing it again. We installed 3NS plus 1B. During meetings, she noticed the urge to grab the mouse, normalized the fear of failure, negotiated for clarity. What's the outcome and deadline? And ran a new behavior. She asked the engineer to summarize the plan in 2 sentences and set a check-in. 2 weeks later, team velocity improved. Not because she understood micromanagement better, but because she replaced it in public. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Integration is enacted, not narrated. Run 3NS plus 1B in real time, in front of people, on small stakes, often. Do that, and your personality recalibrates around behaviors others can trust. Next, we'll build drills that make this automatic.